Peace, my beautiful family. Welcome back to another vent session from your girl. Nah, today we're going to talk about parenting because we all know that God did not give us a manual on how to be a parent. We just winging it and going with the flow of things. I feel that it's very necessary to get on here and talk because a lot of people do not have the village that some people. While it is a blessing to have a village, again, some people don't. So it's important for people like me and people like you to be that village. Sometimes people's support system is online and that is okay. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's talk about parenting. So I am a single mother of 6. I have my 2 nieces that I'm currently raising right now. Rest in peace, sis. And then I have a grandbaby. Yes, pray for me. And as I am raising these kids, I've realized that the way I'm raising my toddlers is totally different from how I raised my older kids. Of course, I grew and evolved. I'm not the same woman I was. I went through domestic violence. I went through so many traumatic experiences while I was raising my older kids that it is now showing me where I went wrong and ways to correct that so they can go on their path and I can be confident that they're going to be okay. With these toddlers, it's a little different because I have more patience. I got more understanding. Things is a lot different. We have the world of convenience at our fingertips. Social media, YouTube, Google will tell you how to do everything. All you gotta do is just research it. But back in the day, we didn't have that. And also, our parenting is also reflected from how our parents raised us. And as we know, the generation before us had it way worse than we did. Like, we are spoiled brats compared to them. They struggled, you know what I'm saying? So we can't fault our parents for not giving us the tools that we needed to raise our teenagers, but I believe that all of us, as we evolve, learn what we need to learn to help, our kids at this day. So I just want to encourage you parents, number one, if you are in a position like me to have a different age groups that may feel challenged, that may feel like it's hopeless, because when you're having teenagers and they get in this headspace that they know everything and they want to do what they want to do, they're sneaking behind your back, they just doing the most. That can be very challenging, and I can vouch for that because I have 5 teenagers, okay? And they're all different. They all have different personalities, and I didn't expect for them to be the same, but to have all of that in one household on top of taking care of toddlers, whoa, it's a lot. So pray for your girl. But I just want to encourage you parents that don't beat yourself up. You can only do so much. Like, if we as this generation are okay and our parents had it 10 times worse than we did, we got to know that our kids is going to be okay. First and foremost, what we need to do is pray and give these kids to God, okay? Every night I pray over my kids for divine protection. I pray that, the wisdom that I give them is correct wisdom, because a lot of times what we could be giving these children is biased opinions, things that we may think is okay and it really ain't okay compared to other people. So it's just really important to make sure that you are being conscious when you are raising kids and not sabotaging them due to your inexperience as a parent. Also, it's important to not get discouraged because they may venture off into the wrong path. Like, I had a 16-year-old that got pregnant. Now, I could beat myself up all day long because Lord knows who wants to have a 16-year-old. She could be going off to college doing what she got to do in life, but now she's raising a child. I used to, I'm not even going to lie, blame myself. And the only reason why I did blame myself is because I was going through a relationship where it was toxic, where most of my energy and my time was spent in the relationship, trying to keep the relationship because that's all I knew. When my kids were basically raising themselves because my energy was invested in the situation. Now, if you're in a healthy relationship, you should have healthy relationship with your kids, healthy relationship with your partner, and a healthy relationship within yourself. When you're in a toxic relationship, it's kind of hard to balance all of that out. It's kind of like survival mode, fight or flight. And I feel like I just didn't give my teenagers the attention that am giving my toddlers, because I'm not in that fight or flight mode. Right now, I am, living free form, going with the flow of things. But back then, like I said, I went through so much trauma experiences. That's a whole nother video. But they really didn't get the me now. So now I'm having to really like tune in, really sit with them, get in their business, okay? I didn't used to do that before because I hated when my mama got in my business. But the fact that she really didn't get in my business, it caused me to be sneaky, and yeah. But just the point of what I'm trying to say is don't beat yourself up. Like, there's only so much that you can do as a parent. You can teach them to go the right way. You can, badger them and tell them that the way that they're going is probably not good. But at the end of the day, just like we did, they're going to do what they want to do, okay? And it's just up to you to not internalize that, not beat yourself up, and, allow them to grow. Sometimes parents can, shield their kids, and that to me does more damage than anything, because when they leave the home and they get out in this real world and it's like, whoa, and then they get eager and excited to get all off into things they ain't got no business, as to if you're, not all the way in their business, but, having that time where you have, I think family meetings is awesome. I think every family should be sitting at the table with their kids. Now, sometimes you can't do that. You got sports, you got a busy life, but it's nice to sit down with your kids and kind of check in with them, see how they're feeling, because you got kids out here that's going through depression, anxiety at a young age. There's kids committing suicide because they don't get that personal time where people are checking in with them to see how they feel. A lot of these kids are getting into all of this trouble because they're seeking attention. So, I mean, it's not your fault. It's just on us to really sit down and really evaluate, how can we help and aid these kids to where when they leave the home, they have the tools that they need. True enough, they might get off into some trouble, get into some things, but then they can hear you in the back of their head like, okay, I just made a dumb decision. Let me learn from this and keep moving, versus making the same mistake over and over. See, right now, a lot of us are being called to break generational curses. And I'm talking generational curses as to a domestic violence, sexual, mental, physical abuse, teenage pregnancy, things of that nature, toxic relationships. You would think if my son, and I'm not just saying my son, but if my son seen me being violently abused, that he would not be that type of person. But it's something about the psychological mind that teaches them to do the exact same thing that it's weird, but psychology, that is just a topic that I just did not ever want to tap into. So I commend y'all counselors, because baby, that is heavy work. But I just wanted to encourage you guys, just love on your kids, support your kids as much as you can, teach them as much as you can, because you are their teacher. You have to show them, the lessons that you learned as you grew up. And, try to balance your life out. Don't give so much time and energy to things that is going to take you from what you're supposed to do. Because that was one of my biggest mistakes, is giving my energy to things that don't matter. I gave all my energy and time to a relationship, and I'm not even in that relationship. And had I used that energy for my kids, maybe things would be different. But everything happens for a reason. And I love my grandbaby, and I love every lesson and everything that we're going through. But I just wanted to encourage you guys. Keep your head up. Peace.